Because the next time we saw after that big fight, that first conversation, the first thing he said was, "Will you marry me?" And he's down on his knees, both knees, like literally begging. And I was just like, with no ring. And I was just like, "Are you crazy?" Like, no. Hello, and welcome to Real Topics. My name is Petra. And this is this is Jonathan. The husband, the back scratcher, professional foot rubber, amongst other things. My baby daddy. Welcome to our home. If I say it, it doesn't sound bad, so just say it.
Okay. So
he stalked me.
I stalked
That's
her.
The short form.
That's a summary of it. But the truth of it is, sometime in July 2010, I went online and I saw a picture of this beautiful wife of mine. It was my
Twitter display picture.
Her Twitter display picture. So I was like, whoa, I love that person, you know, and I went ahead to save it as a screensaver on my laptop. And I started asking people, walking around, calling different people, who's this girl? Who's this girl? Who's this girl? And everyone was like, don't you know Petra? Don't you know Petra? Petra. Like, who's Petra? And I said, oh, she's a girl that won the most sexiest girl in Africa.
I forgot about that.
She won how many times? And I'm like, really? Okay, fine. Finally, I got to meet her in the library through a friend of ours called Ada. And Ada was like, also, don't you know Petra? I said, no. Oh, I know Petra. Oh, she's currently in the library. Okay, so I went to see who Petra was. And all of a sudden, when I saw her, she had a low cut.
Yeah, I had
she was wearing a lumberjack kind of a shirt, red mixed with black and with a brown trouser, khaki pants. And some ripped shoes. So I'm like...
They were Converse. They're supposed to be ripped.
Okay, so Converse. Ripped Converse. And all of a sudden I was like, wow. No makeup on the face. This is natural beauty. I was like, wow. I found her. And she was like... We did introduction and I said, hey, this Petra. I was like, hi, Petra. I put my hand out. She said, and this is... I said, call me anything. Mosquito, anything, please call.
And he literally said that.
And I did say that. I wasn't thinking about my name, to be honest. I was just call me anything. Let's get over with that and proceed.
Yeah.
And after that, we spoke for
we talked for maybe about half an hour the first time we met. And then that same day, he kind of tracked me down in BU and then he asked for my number. No, the first thing he said is, do you have a boyfriend? And in my mind, I'm like,
I went straight to the point.
He's so forward. I literally just met you. And I was single at the time, so I said no. And then he asked for my number and we started talking. And after a couple of weeks, he asked me out. And yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, but wait, let's backtrack a little bit.
Oh my goodness.
That same day, we actually did talk for... The second time we met, after the first time,
like when you asked my number.
We spoke for like 3 hours. So it was as if we've already known ourselves for a long time, to be honest. We spoke for so long that after that, when I go home, I was like, I think I've met someone. You know, I was quite convinced within myself. And that was how we met, though. It's not something I can forget easily, so... Knowing that I was a hunter.
A hunter? And I was a gatherer. Just continue. We've been married for 8... We got married in 2013, January. So that's 7 years. But we had our wedding in December of 2013. So we celebrate our wedding anniversary as 7 years in December, but we technically have been married for 7 years.
Yeah, we did marry. We
went to the courts.
Yeah, after that, I called my dad and we never told our parents.
We never told our parents. We kind of eloped.
So we I called my dad after the court marriage. This was in January, so I called him in February. I was like, "Hey, Daddy, what do you think about doing a court marriage before a white wedding?" I was like, "What? Court marriage? I never did a court marriage. I don't know anything about court marriage. Why would I want you to do a court marriage?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just asking. It's okay. Thank you very much." And I hung up.
Yeah, and I don't think I told my mom at all that we had been married prior to the wedding. I just didn't tell.
I actually didn't tell my dad anything.
So if you're watching this, brothers and more, I'm sorry.
But that's it though. It's okay.
No, not really.
Not really though.
Between both of us is like
it
7 years.
Much. She's 7. Although before I met her, right? So my parents, when they were talking about getting married, they wanted to look for someone for me to get married to. And I told them why I'm going to look for someone myself. And they said to me, "Oh, but you cannot get married to someone who's older than your older brother's wife." I was like, "Why?" So
the age of the wives have to descend.
Yeah, because my older brother's wife has to be the oldest. So my wife has to be younger than her. So that's respect will be there, based on tradition and all that. But I didn't really care about it, honestly speaking.
Well, luckily I'm actually a couple of months younger than his older brother's wife.
Yeah, so which was we actually never thought of it.
Yeah.
We just
originally I thought I was younger, but apparently we're the same age.
So age wasn't really a factor.
Which of them? Because he proposed twice. The first time I said no. I said like, "Not yet, are you crazy?" Those were like my exact words. Because we had just gone through a big issue, a big fight, and we had kind of broken up. I thought we were broken up. In his mind, I guess he was gearing up to propose to me. Because the next time we saw after that big fight, that first conversation, the first thing he said was, "Will you marry me?" And he's down on his knees, both knees, like literally begging. And I was just like, with no ring. And I was just like, "Are you crazy?" Like, no. And but I could tell at that point that he was done searching and he had made up his mind. So I kind of kept it back of my head, and I was like, "You don't even have a ring. You're not ready. You're not there yet." But he was so sure of himself. So that was comforting for me. So fast forward, maybe like I think it was 6 months later, or 8 months.
After you graduated.
On the day I graduated, actually, the next day we were at the mall. And I was with my girls, we were shopping, and he was with his boys in the mall, and they went away. And
apparently we weren't in the mall. We were waiting for the ladies to go do their shopping.
So I was a decoy.
No. Yeah, we were outside waiting for them to come back. We went shopping. You guys went shopping. And then we were waiting. I wanted to propose outside, but
we didn't come out.
They didn't come out. They stayed there for an hour. I'm like, "Whoa, but this guy is coming back." No. And all of a sudden, I told my friend, "Hey, I'm going inside there."
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, are you crazy?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going in. I'm going to propose inside." I was like, "No, you can't do that." And that was actually why I went inside. I wanted to put on. I wore glasses.
He was wearing sunglasses.
Just to appear,
cool.
Kind of cool. And then all of a sudden, I got there. Oh, there they are, sirens.
Was it sirens? Yes, it used to be sirens. Now it's no longer sirens. It's a different. But it used to be urban planets. Yes, it used to be urban planets.
Now it's called sirens.
And then I turned around. Everybody around me had their phones out and they were videoing, and I was like, "What's going on?" Then I turn around and I see he's on his knees with the ring, and I'm just like, "Who proposes in the middle of the mall?" Well, of course, I said yes.
I do.
Yeah, it was very sweet, and everybody was clapping, and complete strangers were videoing us, and my girls were like, "Oh my goodness!" So it was nice. It wasn't a typical proposal.
It's a day I won't forget.
Yes.
Because we weren't going to our parents to get money from them, right? So
our whole wedding was planned and financed
by both of us.
So we kept it very low key. Because because we wanted to be able to afford everything.
Less than 200 people.
And not be in debt, yes.
And we had a list of people that came. So every day we're literally going through it. Are you sure you want this person to come?
Yes. So no offense.
She was the remover of names.
I was the remover of names.
Oh no, we were the remover of names.
We were the dreamer of dreams, but I was the remover of names. We had a lot of the same ideas of how we wanted the wedding to be. We both wanted it to be low-key. We didn't want to spend more than 8,000. I think in the end we even spent less than that self, because we had the wedding ceremony and the reception in church. So that cut down the cost of people who would like rent hall and stuff. So we didn't have to do that. The church decorated everything. So our decor was very simple. We didn't spend a ton of money. In fact, we even spent, so we had wedding reception, then we had the after party. So it was the after party that we spent money, because we just rented out.
We had an open bar.
Yeah, we had an open bar. We just like rented out the bar that night, and everyone was like nice and everything. So that was what actually cost like 2,000 or 3,000, I think. That was then. This was 2012. I don't know what the going rate is now for renting.
Is it 2012 or 2013?
13, sorry. 2013. So yeah, the wedding didn't cost us a lot of money. I think initially we started with nothing. When I met Jonathan, we were just like very chill. Like we would like to eat together. We didn't used to like to go out. We would just be home doing our thing, eating and just gisting by ourselves. We weren't like the wine me and dine me kind of couple. Take me on trips. That's never been us. No. But we did travel. I'm not saying we don't travel. We did travel. Like that was not a thing for us financially.
Our first kiss, we went out, right?
Okay, yes, but we're not talking about kissing right now. What's your problem? This guy.
We're talking about going out. So we went out.
Yes.
And we played pool. We drank.
We went to a bar.
A bar.
Yeah. We do have contradicting personalities. Actually, we're very different. I'm very straightforward. I'm very blunt. I don't know how to sugarcoat things. I just say it as it is. And then,
I thought that was my rule.
Well, you're kind of like that as well, but you're different in that you may keep it to yourself if you feel like it's too harsh to be said sometimes.
Oh yeah. I can just keep quiet and bottle it up.
Yeah, he's like a bottle up kind. Like when he's really angry, he kind of like bottles it up, which is good because he used to be the opposite. And then thank God for Jesus, he's the kind of person who when he gets angry, he just like keeps quiet. Whereas when I'm angry, hey, I can write manuscripts of everything you've ever done. I kind of have to I have this cathartic personality. I have to speak it out. I have to get it off my chest. So I'm trying not to do that so much, but that's who I am generally speaking. If I have something like a situation, I have to voice that, air it out to get over it.
Yeah, but there's not always you should be getting it out.
I know. And then he's like the gentle. No, I'm the gentle one, and he's
no. Let's
reverse it.
Yes. I'm the gentle one. You're the one who goes out and goes, you write everything down. I don't, I bottle things up. That's sign of gentleness.
And I'm easily excitable. Anybody who knows me personally knows, like, yay, I'm easily excitable. Whereas something great can be happening in his life and he's not as
No, let's finish your excitement. Food.
I'm a foodie.
Once she brings food or once she smells food, the same thing with our daughter.
Once
Tamara smells food, they start dancing.
Yeah.
Excitement.
Food is like a big part of my life.
Man shall not live by bread alone. So yes, we're actually two different people. That's true. Right. But that's where we complement each other as well.
Like puzzle pieces.
If we're the same, then
it will be boring.
It will be boring. There will be no dancing in this house.
I think that's kind of what initially attracted me to you, because I've always kind of been around people who, when I come out and I come off strong, they kind of like try to,
You think?
Wait, let me land. I've always been around people who kind of like let me go on that whole tangent of being that type A, very strong personality. But then you're the kind of person who has always challenged me. Has always been like, why? Like, no. And whereas friendships would end and everything, you like stick around even when things get messy and my personality is too strong. You always kind of like file down my rough edges, you know, so then it works. Because if we're both like sharp, then it will just clash all the time.
I don't know if I should agree to that, but let me say yes to it.
Okay. Easy question. Who is more romantic? It's never me. I'm not a romantic person at all. He's very romantic. He always like surprises me with something on my birthday, and even when I think he has forgotten, he'll be like, give me something on Valentine's Day or sneak in with something cute and sweet to say on Valentine's Day and stuff like that. He's the romantic one. I'm not romantic at all.
I'm just romantic.
He's just very romantic. We have similar love languages.
Several, thank you.
We have several, but they are similar. Like, we both like physical touch. I think, that's kind of like our thing. Was that? Oh my goodness, you're so cheesy. But yes.
You just said physical touch. I'm trying to give examples.
Thank you. God bless you. We both like physical touch, and then I think you're more of this. I feel like you value acts of service, but very recently, you kind of made me know that was not like a top priority for you with your love language.
No, it wasn't.
I think physical touch for the most part. I like gifts. He claims I don't like gifts. I like gifts.
I never said anything yet.
Buy me the stuffs. I'm just kidding.
You see, I actually never said anything.
But for Jonathan, I think it's like acts of service and like physical touch. Do you think it's my love language?
Well, I think yours is gifts, physical touch, and whispering. Whispering has to be a love language. Whispering.
Words of affirmation.
Oh yeah.
Words of affirmation, like saying nice, sweet things. I get what you mean. Yeah, that's. We were not celibate before marriage. I wish we were, but we were not. I wish we knew then what we know now about the spiritual connections from sexual relationships, about strongholds, baggage,
spiritual
baggage, and all of that. We didn't know it then.
Yeah, things like when you have a sexual intercourse with someone else, there's a spiritual bonding there, right? And there's this spiritual connection there. We didn't know all those things. So,
and then coming into marriage and coming into Christ, because shortly after we got married, we both gave our lives to Christ. And a lot of people then didn't get it. I mean, we were already Christians, we used to go to church together. So what was this extra thing we were doing? But it really shaped everything, because we had to break a lot of spiritual strongholds. There were a lot of demons. I won't say demons, but that's the honest truth. There were a lot of things that came into the marriage that shouldn't have been there, and it was manifesting itself, I feel, right from day one. So after we gave our lives to Christ and everything, by the special grace of God, a lot of strongholds sexually were broken and were cut off. So we always advise couples, like, that's something to bring under the microscope, especially if you weren't celibate before marriages. What now?
Just
microscope. You're so annoying. Okay, what was I saying now?
You were microscoping the demons.
Because we didn't know Christ the way we do now, but now we do. So there's no need to regret. What's this of regretting? It has happened, it has happened. When we first got together and we fight, the whole apartment building will know that Petra and Jonathan are fighting.
I won't say the whole apartment, because if the whole apartment knew, then people would not know how to.
Okay, now.
It's just within
us.
But
we used to have some very heated arguments back then. Yeah. There was like no boundaries, like no no holds barred. Like we would go all out. Our fights were quite epic.
It actually it's only a couple of times though. It wasn't like an everyday something.
No. But like
it wasn't like a weekly something also.
Yes.
It was once
we
in a
did
while,
have like
kind of.
the fights in which we felt that were big fights were really, really big. There was a lot of fire in our fights. I think we're just passionate. It's one thing that we have in common. So like when we both have an opinion, like nobody wants to back down. And that was then anyway. But by the grace of God, with time, and thank God for Jesus, we've learned how to fight better. Is what I would say. Like when we fight, we have this unspoken rule. We never discussed it, but we don't call each other names. We don't like physically try to harm each other.
No, I at times I bring it. If I say now you're this, you tell me this.
You do that.
I pretty much do that.
Annoying.
So, but I'm not calling names. I'm just like
you'll be like if I say you're a disorganized person now, you'll be like.
You want to fight with me and tell me no, you're organized, you're this, you're that.
But still, that's not like verbal abuse. We don't like.
Yeah,
we don't call each other names. Like I would never like use like a cuss word or anything on him or anything like that. So we don't verbally abuse. We don't get physical, and we also try not to withhold our love to one another even when we fight. Like we could be in the middle of a heated argument and then I would still like expect him to pass me the ketchup if I was eating fries.
Oh, for sure. I'll pass the ketchup. It's just
I don't know why food has to be that equation.
It's just the ketchup.
But yes, we fight better. We've learned, and that helps with reconciliation.
Yeah, I think we've learned how to work together as a couple compared to when we originally met. And that's by the grace of God. So, like you said, yeah, you've talked a lot already. So,
I'm trying to think of a way to answer this short and sweet because I think the biggest part of our relationship is the presence of God. Our relationship is like a triangle. There's like me, there's Jonathan, and then there's God. And in the beginning, it really was just Jonathan and I. I mean, God's presence was there from the very start, and Jonathan would sit me down and he would tell me these testimonies of things that God did in his life when he was a teenager and he had initially encountered Christ. And I was raised Catholic, so I never had those deep spiritual experiences. I mean, I knew about God and I had my prayer life, but I never really experienced the Holy Spirit as a very physical presence there. So when he would tell me these things, I remember the first time, the next day I gave him back his house key because I had moved in with him. I gave him back his house key. I'm not doing it again. I'm not down for this. Like, clearly, I feel like God is calling you for something big. And as much as I know, fornication is a sin. So let's not fool ourselves. Let me just go my way. But thank God for His mercy. When he found the house key, he went and called me back and said, "Are you kidding? Come back," obviously. And we continued dating, and we didn't really put too much emphasis on God because I think at the back of my mind, I knew that we were walking in sin, essentially, because our dating relationship wasn't really honoring God. But we always had that deep desire at the back of our mind to do right by God. So after we got married, we came into Christ.
We actually did pray.
Yes, we used to pray together. And we used to go to church. Like you invited me to your church, and then that's our church till today.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then we came into Christ together, and God is such a big part of our relationship, our home, our children's lives, our lives. In fact, I think it's the single most defining thing about the both of us is our relationship with God. It's like when you both have this independent relationship with God, but then it complements each other. We pray together, we fast together, we discuss and argue about scripture together. We
don't argue though.
Well, not argue, but like we exchange like opinions.
Now you're trying to make it sound good. No.
It is good.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, and then we help each other grow spiritually. So I may see a Bible verse or a reading or hear a song, and I'll send it to you. Yes, and then we deliberate on it.
Yeah, I can be out of work and just something pops up in my head,
and then
I just send it straight away.
Exactly.
I send it to your phone, and then I say, "Hey, have you read it?" Like, "No, I've not read it. Please read it and tell what you understand by it."
Yeah.
So
a big part of our life is our work with the church. So he's the assistant pastor, so he has a lot of duties, and I'm a deaconess, so I have a lot of duties. But aside from those ones, he's also the choir director, and I'm in the choir. So a lot of our life has to do with church and the service of God, and we go beyond just church and religion. We actually have a deep spiritual connection with God, and we take God as a physical presence in our house. Certain things we won't allow into our house and into our relationship and into the lives of our children because of God. But yeah, financially we're on the same page. We have similar financial personality. That's a thing.
And the funniest part is you have most of my anything that has to do with my account, she knows. You know.
Yeah.
You have my bank password, you have my online password.
I have access to all your cards.
Yeah, she has access to all my
But we don't have a joint account. Not because of any weirdness, so we just not see the reason why.
At times I forget what my password is.
Yeah.
Because I have lots of other things going on, so and I can't keep the same password for everything. It's gonna be catastrophic.
You tell me like how much you get on your paychecks every week. Immediately I get paid, I tell you. We don't look at it, oh, borrow me money, this, that. No, we just have access to the money. If I don't know where my bank card is, it's probably in his wallet. If he doesn't know where his bank card is, it's probably in my wallet. We don't have that issue. We set financial goals for ourselves. So every few years, when we reach a goal, then we set another. Oh, in 3 to 5 years, we want to be able to do this, and then we like save towards it. Or we
not something huge.
Yeah, and we're on the same page. I'm more of a. I like to shop. I love to shop, and he doesn't like to shop, so I do the most of the spending. He does the grocery shopping.
So you say
I
don't
do
shop,
most of the spending.
but you put grocery shopping.
Well, you do the grocery shopping because I'm with the kids at home, so we don't have to take them because of COVID.
So at times I'm with the kids at home and you do the groceries.
Sometimes. I think the only time that we butt heads when it comes to money is because he has a very big heart for giving. Like, if Jonathan wants to give somebody money now, I'll have to be like pulling his shirt like, guy, chill. We have not paid some bills. Relax. He has that's his spiritual gift. He actually is a giver, and I'm not naturally a giver. So thank God that we differ on that platform. If not, we'll not have anything in this house. We'll just be eating curry every day. So yeah, he's more of the giver, and I'm more of like, I'm very frugal. Like, I love a good bargain. No, I'm not stingy. I won't say stingy. Don't do your hand like that. I'm not stingy. I'm just frugal. That's the word.
Frugal. Would I choose you all over again and redo this? You're already putting your head on my shoulder.
I'm feeling very
comfortable. Well, yes. If I were to go back again and get things going.
Would you?
Oh yes. Full time. This time I'm coming with full force. Full force. This time around, I don't even need to. I don't need to do anything. In fact, I will prepare everything in a certain way and sweep you off.
I have no regrets, none whatsoever. I think God brought you into my life for a reason, and you're like something. Sorry to refer to you as a thing. I said sorry now, relax. You're so dramatic. You're someone in my life who I didn't know that I needed. What I needed. I needed that kind of person. I needed you specifically.
Wash us.
I'm not watching you, I'm being serious.
I'm just sitting well.
Oh, okay, I'm not talking again.
I'm just sitting well.
See why I'm not romantic? You don't be busting your head. Let me not talk too much. Take your time, oh. There's no rush. Take your time. Pray about it. Be very wise. Study the person you're going to get married to. Try as much as possible to work with God. Don't give in to sex and to the physical as quickly, because it clouds your judgment. When you start to sleep with somebody, or when you start to get so physically close, you just stop seeing the person's flaws. All of a sudden, Person's fart smells nice. It's like air freshener. Don't do it. Don't. Because you have to really keep a clear head. You want to study that person. You want to know what that person's lifestyle is, how that person's relationship is with other people, with God, how that person handles money, anger, emotions. You know, not every man that is rich is emotionally intelligent. You don't want someone that will be frustrating your life every day. So take your time. Yeah, that's what I'll say. What do you think to everyone about to say I do?
All I can say is this. Make sure the person you're getting married to is a person that God has in stock for you.
So how do you know if that person that God has in stock?
That's why you need to start praying about it from the beginning.
You mean like when you meet the person?
Before you meet the person, you don't need to wait to meet someone before you start praying about it. It's just like when I saw you, the first time I saw your picture, I knew you were the one. Despite the challenges we had, you know, we had a big fight. After the big fight, I proposed the first time. You turned it down. But because I knew certainly in my heart, this is the person I wanted. This is the person God has for me. I know there's something that God has in stock for this person, or God has prepared this person for me. I knew that from the onset. I didn't give up on it, and I kept on praying despite living in sin. But I still prayed about it. Pray about it. You commit it to God's hand. Whether you've seen the person or you've not seen the person,